Welcome back, everybody. Broadcasting live from the National Results Operating Centre here in Pretoria, and a very electrifying atmosphere that there is here. And you can only imagine that throughout the day, it's going to get more and more intense as the results start to come in. And you see all of the political parties bringing in their teams, bringing in their leaders, standing here watching very, very closely as the numbers just keep on ticking and the votes just keep on getting higher, or in some instances for some of the political parties not moving. And that, I think, is a nightmare for any political party, is not to see your vote moving on that board. All right, well, KwaZulu-Natal is in our focus for this point in time. And what I can tell you is that for the results that I have, the ANC, 483,012 votes is what the ANC have got in KZN. The next top performing is the IFP with 96,526,000 votes. The DA is sitting at 73,057. The IFP just jumped over 100,000 as I was talking to you. EFF 11,396, and then the next one is, of course, the NFP at 69,164. Let's go to our reporter who is in KwaMashu now. Ayanda has been watching that area very, very closely. And as we can see, Ayanda, the ANC coming out tops in that province, but the NFP and the IFP neck on neck to, I suppose, take in that second position. But the IFP just now going over 100,000 votes. How's it going in KwaMashu?
Well, a very good morning to you, Leanne, and I can tell you I'm in KwaMashu now, but earlier on I was at the IEC base in Durban at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, and I tell you it was a buzz of activity there, Leanne, with members of the political parties and the leaders of the political parties here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal glued to that screen as you're talking about those results coming in. I tell you, it's quite a busy mood down there at the base Moses Mabhida. But where I am, as you said, I'm in KwaMashu. Leanne, of course, KwaMashu is one of those areas that had been a hotspot for the upcoming, for the elections. I can tell you that it was a relatively calm election. No incidents, in fact, taking place here in KwaMashu. A lot of effort was placed on the area of KwaMashu. You know, we've spoken at length about the security measures that were in place to ensure that there was a peaceful election and a free and fair election here in KwaMashu. And I can tell you that from the IEC and from the security agencies, they've indeed confirmed to us and have said that there were no incidents reported. Unfortunately, Leanne, our election across the province around 9 o'clock, we had the unfortunate incident that took place in an area called Elindelani. That's just outside KwaDukuza. Now, many people will know KwaDukuza as the Stanger, just north of Durban last night, where a 30-year-old ANC volunteer was killed outside a voting station. According to police, a group of people that were just marching or toying went past the ANC table. They had a small marquee there and started firing into the ANC crowd and killing that 30-year-old ANC volunteer. The ANC has come out and condemned the incident, saying that they are saddened and shocked by this incident, which took place roughly a few minutes before the voting stations closed. We also had another incident, unfortunately, in Ulundi, where there was a stabbing. And police in both incidents have formed teams who are now investigating, and they're taking, of course, those matters very seriously. Just on wrapping up last night, Leanne, a lot of our voting stations, about 100 voting stations throughout the province of KwaZulu-Natal, closed after the 9 o'clock cut-off time. Now, one of the main reasons was that a lot of people, we understand, for the IEC decided to vote in either voting stations and not at the voting stations that they were registered for. So that caused a bit of a delay. And of course, there was that delay with the printing of those 4A rather papers, forms which a voter would have had to sign if they're voting at a different voting station. So those results, of course, due to them closing late, we'll see those results only trickling in later. The IEC has said that about 1 o'clock a.m. we should be able to get the results through. But I said KwaMashu, very, very peaceful, and we'll be now leaving to head back to base and just to catch up with the results there, and obviously chat to the political parties and just to get their reaction on the results so far. But for now, from us here, Leanne and KwaMashu, it's back to you in the capital.
All right, Ayanda, thank you very much for the updates from KwaMashu, and also talking about issues that are affecting the province of KwaZulu-Natal as the results do come in. Our next province that's under the spotlight, the Northern Cape. Very interesting province, actually, because this was the particular province that the DA really wanted to take as their stronghold. They were hoping to get a very big stronghold over there, but it doesn't seem so at this point. It still seems that the ANC have got a grip on that. But the other party that has still got some votes in that area is COPE. Now, COPE had quite a good showing in the 2009 elections when it came to the Northern Cape. At this point in time, let me just read to you the votes as they stand right now at this time of the morning. We've got the ANC at 163,111 votes. We've also got COPE at 10,617, and the DA is at 66,276. Interesting to see the EFF also in double digits, 11,897. Those are the parties worth talking about when it comes to the Northern Cape. Early days, still small votes there, long way to go. Kuruman is where we're going to now, and that's where Margaret Mutibi is standing by. Margaret, what's the sense or what's the feeling like in the Northern Cape right now? I can imagine it's still very early days, but the ANC coming in very strongly.
Good morning, Leanne. We're actually wrapping up our coverage here in Kuruman in the John Talo Gaetsewe district. Like I said yesterday, the district was peaceful. There was not a lot of glitches reported. And with me this morning is Mr. Peter Kobe, who was overseeing the whole process. He's been up the whole night. He tells me now that the counting of votes has been concluded, and I could see that some people were actually knocking off this morning. And according to the information that he gave us, they should know before lunchtime whether DA was able to actually recognize what they predicted in the past, to say that they will be taking over the province from the ANC. Mr. Peter Kobe, can you just tell us, in terms of your preparations, the voter turnout and the counting, has everything gone well until now?
Yes, everything has gone well until now. We have concluded capturing of the results at the municipality in which I am now, and everything, I would say, has gone smoothly and without any hiccups.
And basically, could you also tell us about the voter turnout as well? Was it bad? Did it drop, or was it the same as the previous years?
The voter turnout has gone a little bit better. It hasn't really gone that much, but anyway, it did not drop from what it was last year. It has gone with about 1% or 2%.
And what are we waiting for? Do we know when the results, or when you will be done with the counting? What are we still waiting for right now?
Actually, this is, as a province in the Northern Cape, there are municipalities other than this one. So it's a question of other municipalities wrapping up, capturing their results. But as for this one, this municipality, we are done. We will have to wait for other municipalities.
That was Mr. Peter Kobe basically telling us that their work here in the district is done, and we'll just have to monitor in terms of the province on how well other political parties are doing, and whether those that predicted, like the EFF in the past, the DA, that they will be giving the ANC the run for their money, whether that will be realized in these particular elections. Back to you, Leanne, in the studio.
All right, Margaret, thank you very, very much. Well, interesting to see exactly what happens. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be giving the ANC a run for their money in the Northern Cape, not the way things are looking at right now. All right, our final province that we're crossing to now, before we get some analysis with Tabiso in the studio, is the Northwest. Okay, now this is where Marikana is, and this is an area that has been a very, very hot ground for the EFF. They have been electioneering out in the Northwest, frantically trying to get some votes there. Let me read to you, as they stand right now, how the votes are looking. I can tell you from the board now at this time of the morning, the ANC are well ahead there in the northwest. They've got 167,712 votes. Coming in second is the DA with 34,601 and the EFF 23,516. So the EFF are not doing as well at this point as I imagine they wanted to, but they're still showing a very strong performance out in the northwest. Let me just remind you that when a voting district or a station has completed their counting, they stick it on the door of the voting station so you're able to see exactly that they are finished. Those are the results and they have been finished. At this point, just under 15% of the voting districts have been declared. There are 22,200 voting districts across South Africa, so it's a long way to go. But as I said, Marikana in our focus. People were worried that would be a hot spot. Sello has been watching that area very closely since the incident happened a few years ago in Marikana, and the miners were killed there in that area. Sello, what was the voting like yesterday? Was there any tensions? Did it go off smoothly, or were there some disruptions as expected?
Well, Leanne, it has been a fairly peaceful election here at Marikana. As you have indicated, Marikana was one of the hotspots, but going to these elections, we saw thousands of mine workers visiting various police stations here at Marikana and Vonderkop and surrounding areas to really participate in these elections and to make their voice heard, maintaining that they are going to vote for a party that will uphold their workers' rights, that will uphold the lives of many workers who are marginalized by the country's economic policies and so forth. And later today we are expecting a showdown between AMCU and Lonmin. You'll remember that, Leanne, just on Monday, Lonmin issued a statement and sent out SMSs to workers that they should report for duty today. Many of the workers that we have spoken to yesterday and in the early hours of the morning, they indicated and maintained that they'll not be reporting for duty and they are not budging from their wage demand of 12,500 after deduction. Of interest, though, is that at Emplets, at the operations of largest platinum producer Emplets at Sondel Informal Settlement Nejabula Hostel, there was a bit of a confrontation between the presiding officer there and members of EFF and UDM, whom are alleging that the presiding officer failed to give more than 2,000 voters, your provincial ballot paper, and as a result, they have lost a query. We'll see how that particular incident will unfold as the day proceeds today.
Sello, thank you very much for your ongoing coverage there in Marikana, bringing us all of the latest news from that particular area. It's good to hear that the voting went off very peacefully in that area, because I think police were on high alert expecting some incidences there. So it's good on South Africa. Well done for that one. All right, well, that's it from the floor for the time being, but let's go back to the main set that's right behind me. I think you can get a nice view as to what the SABC set looks like here at the IEC, and it's a fabulous set, I have to tell you, especially from this perspective. That's where Tabiso is. I'm waving at you now, Tabiso. I know you've got an analyst with you, so we can start getting some analysis of the results.